Welcome along to the SUTV post-game show. Disappointment for the Blades today as this year's cup run came to a premature end against Brighton. Carlos Saba alongside me, 5-2 in the end to Brighton Hove Albion. Was it a score that flattered them?
It flattered them, but I think it showed what is required in the Premiership, the clinical edge, the making the right choices, because we created 13 chances, good chances we've had on goal, and we scored 2. We could have been 2-0 up before they got the first goal, which was a wonder goal. Then then it's giving away soft goals. How can so much could have been done to affect the scoreline against us. They didn't create great goals. They scored a wonder goal, but then you're giving away soft penalties. And for the fourth goal, really disappointed me because I love him. I thought Oliver Nord could have closed their defender down, and then he could have closed the strike, but he was passive. And you're playing against a Premiership team, and we were punished. So I think it's a back to a learning curve for the boys that you've got to be more clinical. We did brilliant. You're following the manager's direction, and you're opening teams up, but you've got to take your chances. And at the other end, you've got to be, you've got to be stronger and defend a bit better.
You've mentioned that word clinical several times in that answer there. Was that the biggest takeaway and disappointment for you today?
Yeah, because you saw Danny Welbeck. That's your benchmark that you as a striker you want to. He's been at the top level throughout his career, and the reason why is he gets into positions and he scores. We've got into great positions and the boys are doing great, and we've not taken the chances, and you've just got to work it. But you're playing against Premiership opposition, and if you're not taking the chances, but yet you're giving away chances as well, the opposition will take them, and it's going to be a harsh lesson, because I don't believe we deserve to lose that at the level we did, and the manager will be disappointed because the boys are going out and they're following the instructions and they're getting into the areas. Just a few wrong choices. Brighton showed they're a really good team. They pass well, they make the right choices. That's what you've got. That's what you've got to aspire to be.
On that note, Carlos, disappointed without question it is that Sheffield United are now out of this year's FA Cup competition. Chris Wilder did give some players a start for the first time in a while today. How much has he learned about this group from today's performance?
Yeah, he will have learned a lot, and again he will be heartened. There's lots of positives to take away from it, because you have created 13 chances. If you're losing 5-2 and you created 2 chances, then you worry. You're creating 13 chances by giving players a direction and getting them to play in a certain way. So the boys are obviously good enough to open up for Brighton. It's just you'll be disappointed that we haven't taken the chances and haven't scored more. And up the other end, they scored one worldy goal, which it was. You take your hat off and you clap them, but the other ones were very soft and could have been stopped. And it's football. It's harsh. This is a harsh reality of playing against a top-level team. If you don't take your chances, they will.
Okay, well, those are the thoughts of Carlos Saba. What about the thoughts from inside the dressing room? Let's hear now from Ben Osborn. Ben, thanks for joining us on SUTV. I imagine that was quite a chastening day for you and the lads in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, first off, it was first 20 minutes. I mean, it was quite difficult. They had a lot of the ball. We had a few chances on the break when we nicked it, and then finding ourselves 2-0 down, we had to stick together. Gaffer got us in and tweaked a couple of things, and managed to get ourselves back in the game. Gave away a sloppy penalty. And I thought we still looked dangerous throughout, to be fair. But yeah, then they punished us a couple of times towards the end, and it flatters them probably a little bit, the scoreline. But yeah, probably both boxes let us down.
You mentioned you had chances. I think, Carl, you were saying before we came on air that there was 13 in total, which in any given game you'd be more than happy with. Yeah,
100%. And it felt like that out there. Even first off, when we were under the cosh, I thought we still looked dangerous on the break, and Will was making some good runs, so was Ben and Cam, and we were getting in behind. And then second off, even at 3-2, we were creating chances, balls going in the box, couple of just final balls again where we have to be really clinical, especially when you're playing against top teams like that.
But for me, what stood out was the two contrasting styles. It's like we knew Brighton loved the ball, but you guys, you played a direct football in the first half, which it just opened them up time and time again. Well, you must have gone in disappointed that you hadn't scored more, because you created chance after chance.
Yeah, we knew that. Well, we know they love to dominate the ball, and one thing they do, they play a really high line. So obviously we had 3 lads up there today with a lot of pace. So we knew, look, if we do get a bit of time on the ball, we're looking for them runs, and it was working for us when we did win it back. And it was just being a bit more clinical, making the right decision. A couple of times the wrong cross or the wrong final ball let us down.
But yourself, you made one of the passes of the season. You know, first half picking out Willisula, left footed, bent it round. How were your legs? How did you find it? Because one of your first starts in a while.
Yeah, it's first start since Man City, I think. So it has been a while. It's good to be back out there. I said to Will before the game, obviously we're watching a load of clips on them and seen the high line. And I said to Will before the game, like, if I get it in like a left back area, instead of playing to Ben, I'll look to try and play you in behind. And I said I just needed him to make the run, and he did, and it worked. And just a shame that a goal didn't come of it. But first 20 minutes I was blowing, to be fair. They were like, I looked up at the clock and it was like 19 minutes gone. And I was thinking, Jesus Christ, they do keep it, and a lot of like sliding and checking your shoulders and men popping up everywhere. But then got my second wind and felt good, and I was feeling good second half, to be fair. I just felt I was getting stronger really as the game went on. But I've stiffened right up now, I'm not going to lie.
What's been said in the dressing room? Because obviously disappointment that the cup run has come to an end, but there's a job to do in the Premier League now, and those games keep coming. Palace on Tuesday night, Villa back here next weekend. Yeah,
both boxes let us down today. That was it really. That was the main takeaway. Some good stuff throughout, sloppy penalties, and not clinical enough at the top end. But we've got them here in 3 weeks' time as well, so we'll learn from it. We'll be better. But for now, as disappointed we are to be out of the cup, because we've got a quite decent recent history in the FA Cup, and it's been amazing for us. We got to park it and focus on Palace on Tuesday.
It sounds like to me, from what you're saying, that the players don't need to be told anything. You seem to be quite critical and hard on yourselves. You know what the standards are that you expect of yourselves.
Of course. We knew it was going to be a tough game today. And at times the performance was okay, but it's still disappointing, like when it ends up the scoreline like it is.
On to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, big game for us. I thought the performance was good against West Ham in the last league game. Can we build on that? Can we create chances like we have done tonight? Stick to the game plan and hopefully go there and get a result.
Well, look, it was good to see you back in a starting role on the pitch today, and we really appreciate your time as well. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Well, Ben Osborne being quite frank and honest with us there, Carl. Clearly disappointed, but equally as well aware that there's a job to do in the Premier League, and you don't really have any time to dwell on this one today.
Of course, there's a massive game on Tuesday. Crystal Palace is going to be a tough game, but we know if we're playing a stronger lineup, a starting lineup like we did against West Ham, if the boys acquit themselves well, they've got a chance. They're not going to be going in there downbeat, because even today there's so many positives to take away from today. Take away what you took away from West Ham. You're going into that game positive. You just got to hope, if you can create 13 chances against this sort of team, you're doing something really well.
And on that note as well, because it's really easy to look at the scoreline, 5-2 defeat, and be down on it, but in terms of positives, they came back from 2 down, and certain individual performances, I'm thinking in particular Ben Brereton Diaz down this left-hand side as well. Chris Wilder said that if he was going to add to this squad during the January transfer window, he wanted to bring in players that automatically improve this squad. Is that what we've seen in Ben? Yeah,
for definite. I thought he was outstanding again. He looks a real threat. He's closing down. His work rate, he's always cutting in, trying to get a shot. There were really good moments there, and there were a lot to take away. Then when you saw the boys coming on, you've seen Vinny Souza affect the game. You're seeing McAtee affect it. We've got a great little squad now, and it's just...
And these are players that more than likely are going to start against Crystal Palace on Tuesday.
Yeah, I hope so. And, there's lots of positive. It's a really galling defeat. 5-2 at home. The goalkeeper making his debut. He's picking 2 penalties out of the net. That's not obviously what was wanted, but on the plus side, you've created 13 chances with not your strongest team. Your squad's getting stronger. The direction that they're being given is proving. You know, if you do this and you do that, you're going to get chances. And they've just got to shore certain things up. You can be stronger at the back, not give away silly penalties, and be more clinical. You know, that it's there. It's still positive.
And I suppose when they do put this game to bed, look at the tape, if they want to, between now and Palace, they will look at that 13 chances, opportunities that if they'd been taken could have meant this game was very different today.
And the penalty, you know, the second penalty, I didn't think it was clear and obvious. If the referee, who was under a lot of pressure because he's been assessed, didn't actually give that as a penalty, VAR's not going to stop play and say, actually, you've missed a glarer there. It was just interpretation that went against us. For me, it was the fourth. You know, we were still in the game at 3-2. When the fourth went, I was just disappointed at that. You know, the first half, we were playing narrow. We were playing narrow to direct them. We know they're strong in the middle and they're passing. The lad's broken 2 challenges. He shouldn't have got through the middle of us. We were inviting him to go wide. He's gone through the middle, broke the challenges, and then unleashed from 35 yards. It's completely against what the manager was wanting. So, you know, there's lots to take. I saw some great individual performances. Certain players have got to step up now. You know, the manager's still saying he's looking for a right-sided centre-half. We need to be stronger in that position, I feel.
All right, Carl, as always, appreciate your time and thoughts. Not the result any of us wanted in this FA Cup tie against Brighton this afternoon, but the Premier League games keep coming thick and fast. To that end, we'll have the SUTV preview show ahead of the trip to Crystal Palace on Tuesday night, and we'll see you then.